Oops, facing the wrong way. Hello. hello everyone. Okay, so I'm in the park. It's very cold, it's very damp, but I felt I really needed to be here today on my favourite common, Tooting Common, and yeah, slightly nervous. I feel like I'm stepping up, bringing all my courage to the fore. I'm quite crapping myself, to be honest, about what I'm going to be saying, because the message. So if you read my post from earlier, you'll know that today is. Oh, hello, hi Hilary. Thank you for joining me, and thank you who else. Yeah, there's another couple of people live, so that's really lovely. Thank you. Giving me courage, helping me with the courage for what I'm about to share. I feel like I'm really coming out. Yeah, so if you read my post from this morning, you'll know that today, 8 years ago, was the day. Oh, hi Jennifer, thank you for joining me. Yeah, today was the day that Rosa, my spirit baby, who is now my spirit baby, was birthed into the world, but birthed not into this world. Yeah, it's the day my life changed, really, and it was, you know, it's been a interesting journey. I don't know what I'm going to be saying now. Let me take a deep breath and start again. Yes, so Rosa, I was, you know, at the time I was head of regional media for an international charity. I was traveling the world, a gorgeous husband, beautiful, gorgeous boy, you know, and we had a really nice, you know, we were happy, we had a really nice life, but there was something, you know, I was hiding a lot. I'd had 3 miscarriages, there'd been a lot of grief and loss, but I wasn't processing any of it. And then I got pregnant again, and this time it was who I now know to be Rosa, and she was the first. She was the, you know, you know, when I was pregnant with her, she came to me and said, "Mummy, I'm sick." So I knew that something wasn't quite right. But anyway, after the 3 miscarriages, I was trying to think, no, it's all be fine, and sort of ignored that message, if you like. But I couldn't ignore it any longer, and you know, we had, you know, it transpired that she was very sick. She was, you know, she wasn't well at all. Was she going to survive? Who knows? If she was born, how long would she survive? What was going to happen? All of that stuff. So then, rather than the miscarriage where choice was taken out of my hands, it was a choice I had to make of, do I choose to continue the pregnancy and see what happens, or do I choose to, you know, release her? And so I made the choice to release her. And I've only just started talking about this very recently, perhaps only the last 18 months or so, because what really held back my healing was the sense of shame around what we call termination. And you know, and to be honest, I'd already experienced this long before college, and you know, so it's like double whammy, like, oh my gosh, you know. So I've been really avoiding coming out, but I just thought that, what is the shame? What is the shame that you know, what is it that's holding us women, you know, holding us back? It's not a choice you make lightly. It's not a choice you do on a whim. It's not that you don't care about your baby or anything. So it's just, you know, and it's so loaded. It's just such a loaded conversation. That so many women feel they cannot talk about it, that they cannot talk about their experiences, and this just makes the whole thing so much more painful. So this morning, in honor of Rosa, I thought I would tune in to, you know, just have a chat with her like I do, and you know, write some more chapters of the book. And I knew this chapter was going to be about termination, and I was waiting to see what would come through, and really intrigued. Now, Rosa is a hugely powerful soul, so the message is very sort of high level, so you'll hear it depending on where you are and your level of kind of spiritual development and awareness and your own self-awareness, so you'll hear this message, because it's almost so much bigger than the situation. You know, the situation is never the situation. The emotions that we feel, it's not coming from that particular situation. It's coming from it's coming from way back in this lifetime, but also other lifetimes, but also as a collective, a collective energy as well. So, you know, you'll hear this message however you hear it. My intention, and of course Rosa's intention, is with absolute love, and I feel like I'm ready to share my story, because we all, so many of us live with this shame of the choice we made, and I really wanted to get a high perspective on it. What does it mean? Because from our human level, it's kind of hard to look outside of the box. So, to be looking in from our perspective of our soul. So that's where I'm at today. And, my intention is to allow women to heal from this experience, to understand themselves. So I'm just going to read Rosa's message to you now, and with full love, intention of healing. And of course, if any of this is triggering for you, if any of this is upsetting for you, then please do reach out to me. It's time that we were able to talk about, own our stories. As my gorgeous friend Sarah Impey once said, you've got to own your stories, and we really do have to own our stories. And when we own our stories, we empower ourselves, and not only that, we empower others. And so my intention is to really help other women empower themselves, feel empowered about the story, the experience that they've been through, and have that higher perspective of what it might be all about. And obviously we're all on our own unique soul journeys. Our babies are on their own unique soul journeys. They have choices, which is why the book Rosa and I are writing are called Rosa's Choice. Because although it was absolutely my choice in this physical world to release her, I have since discovered that it was actually her choice as well, a choice for her to do her work from her where she is now in the other realms. So here we go. I shall read this out with huge amounts of love. And I haven't typed it up because I've been writing in the park, so if I can't read my writing, then please forgive me. Okay. Shame. What is shame? What is this terminology of shame? And why is it present in your human form? For it is certainly not an emotion that is felt here, where I am now. But this does not help you understand shame, and so I will do my best to describe it to you, and from whence it came. So shame is essentially about the shame of the body. The shame of the body that once gave and gave and gave in its infinite love of the universe and of all beings present in that universe. And it was of and with no shame that this was given, because this love and this creation that comes from love was the highest and best for all. It was a choice to give, and a choice to love, and a choice to share all of the goodness of the body, and all of the life force energy, and all of the beings that could be birthed from it. And yet at some point in time there were many who chose to question this love, this type of love that was all giving and all seeing and all knowing, and all the giving and receiving of life. For who were they to not have this love for themselves? Who were they to not have this love and to bottle it up and sell it for all it was worth? Who were they not to have control of and control over this love? And so they took it, and they took it for themselves, not knowing that they already had it. It was just buried so deeply within them that they did not realize it. And it was the way that they took it that this was the instigator and the catalyst for the shame that so many of you experience now. For it was certainly not there before, and at some point in time it will no longer need to be there and present within you. For there will be an even deeper understanding of what it is to love, and what it means to give, and in particular give life to another being, whether that be a being born into physical form, or a being being born back into the love and the arms of the whole universe. And so you see, when you ask about the shame that is linked to a termination, there really is no such thing, because you are not terminating anything or anyone, for no thing or no one can be terminated, and at the very most by a human form, because this is not your power to terminate, and neither is it your choice. It simply is a birthing of a being into another realm, another realm that will most likely suit that being better at that time than the realm of the earth. And so when you say you release me, this is exactly what you did. Release me from my contract to return to earth in order that I may continue my studies and continue my living from another place, a place where you find me now in the other realms, and yes, including the baby spirit realm. For I do not always dwell there, for I have no notion of yet again returning to your earth, at least not until there comes to a point in time when the earth is indeed heaven again. For this is indeed what the earth was and is, heaven. You simply do not see it that way. And it is of your own making that you see it as a hell on earth, because you choose to remain in the past, choose to remain in the moment of trauma, or the moments of trauma, when the world collapsed around you, and you did all indeed feel like you were all dying. But dying you did not, and neither have any of your babies or anyone else's babies. We are simply here, moving about the universe, birthed into the realms we are meant to be in right now. And this may well be the realm of the earth, or may well be another realm, but know that whatever realm we are in, we are and always will be with you. So do not hold on to that shame that you have killed or you have terminated, for there are no such words here in the universe. We do not know of this experience of being terminated. We only know of this experience of being birthed. And as we birth, so too do others birth, as we are continually recycling ourselves into more and more of the experiences we come here to experience. And it makes no matter to us whether that experience is here with you on earth physically, or here with you in another place or time. We are simply with you, living our lives as we choose to live our lives. And yet it is that in your realm you talk about, you take these choices as signs of weakness, of something wrong, of something bad, or something to admonish or administer pain for, either to yourselves or others for whom you do not understand their own personal soul journey. And it is time to be rid of this shame, for it is not a real thing. It is the thing that has been given to you by others who choose to try and control you, and control the choices you make. For they are not ready, and nor do they wish you to be ready to see the very real truth of the matter, that matter is matter, and you cannot make matter come to an end. And you cannot make matter matter without that matter having a choice in the matter. And I could feel her laughing then. And I know you often get lost in all my words, and this is making me laugh, as I am playing with you sometimes when I do this. For I know how seriously you can take life, and I know how complicated you can make life seem and appear, when in reality there are no complications. We simply are. And we are simply here. Or we are simply not here. And when we are not here with you on earth, we are simply somewhere else, and yet always with you. And so do not feel bad from a soul level that you have released your babies. They will always come back to you if that is their want, and that is your want, and that is part of your plan together. For they feel no pain at that moment of release. They only feel birthed into somewhere else for another adventure, until and if it is time for them to rejoin you in this physical plane. And yet I know that as a human level, this is a choice that is far from simple and far from free from pain. But maybe that is the point of this experience for many of you, that you feel this pain, that you are aware of this pain within your physical form, and yes, also in your soul form. For it is through the experience of this pain and the experience of this shame and the experience of this loss of your baby, of your values, of your beliefs, of thou shalt not kill, of your loss of self and who you thought you were. Because this is what your so-called termination does. It does not terminate your baby soul, for this is not a law of the universe. It terminates instead many things about yourself. And you can choose to live with this termination of your life as you knew it, the termination of yourself as you knew it, the termination of how you feel about your own dignity, your values, your sense of self-worth, and your own worthiness to be alive in this world. That is what a termination is for. And if you are not ready to experience this termination, this death of your old ways, your old patterns and programs, and who you thought yourself to be, then we do not recommend this experience for you. For you are not ready to go within, so deep within that you often feel you will never come out of it. Come out of that box of shame that has been programmed into you from almost the beginning of time, when it was that that these others decided that life was there to control, love was there to control, that only they could make your choices of what was right or what was wrong, and not the individual, and most certainly not the woman. For who was a woman to make such a choice of who lives and who dies? For surely it is only the male of the species, the male who himself cannot create life in either your human sense or universal sense, that must be the one to control and be in control of this process of creation. For surely if it was the woman, then where does that leave the male? And what would happen to the male, to the masculine, to the point of them, if they were not able to control the woman? For surely they would simply give and give and give. And what would happen then if we all just did give and give and give? It is not a concept that comes easily to the male, for this is an energy of take and claim in their being. And it is this that has got out of balance. And it is this that must now come full circle and back into balance. For the female to rise, yes, but for the male to be heard and to be understood, and for their fears of being inconsequential, a fear that runs so deep within the veins of the universe that it affects all things and affects all life. For once the male is recognized and honored for the master creator they are in their own right, that once they are recognized as the being that must be visible within the process of creation, that creation is indeed the balance of both the male and the female, then it is then, and then it is now, that a true creation can happen. The creation of life on all planets, as and when an individual soul so chooses to incarnate, or so chooses to be birthed, or so chooses to experience the depths of the pain of loss in order to heal and to lift and to rise through this pain, and understand that they are not only living this pain now, but indeed playing out an ancient story of fear. Fear of the wiping out of the masculine. And it is this fear that we must now all turn, to ease and to coddle the male in order for the world to be felt a safe place once more. A safe place to be, a safe place without fear or without shame, for in reality there cannot be any such thing. And so we honour you women who have made this choice to destroy a life before it has even begun, for you have destroyed nothing and no one but the fear and the shame within yourselves. And so this too is a service of giving and a service of love, and we honour you for this. And it is with our love and blessings that soon this will no longer be a need to perform, that this will no longer be a deed that needs to be seen or taken, for there will be no thing that needs to be terminated, for all there will be is love. And so it is. Our infinite blessings, Rosa. Okay, so even though I talk to babies, I can communicate with baby spirits, and I help many women who have experienced that sense of termination and the shame that comes with that, and that self-loathing, and and they're saying, I just need to know that the baby forgives me, and the amount of baby that comes through, there's nothing to forgive. There's nothing to forgive. You haven't destroyed their, you haven't destroyed their life. They are off in another realm. They are still with you. What you've destroyed is a part, or what you've got the potential to destroy is a part of you. But is it a part that you want to hang on to? Is it a part that you need? That sense of failure, or I'm bad. A termination can bring up so many things. And what, from a soul perspective, it's saying is like, do you need that in your soul? Do you need to carry this? This isn't you. It's not about you. And so when we rise through these, when we face our stories, when we come to terms with our stories, we can understand them at a deeper level. And I think the main thing to take away, this isn't a choice we take lightly. But if it's fear for your babies, then there is no fear. The fear is not coming from your babies. Your babies are still birthed. They're just not birthed in this physical world. But if they choose to return to you, and if you choose to receive them again, then then that is what will happen. Okay, so I hope that you kind of, it'd be interesting to see how you took that message. Thank you, Hilary. Yes, very powerful message. And just really interesting. It always goes back to this balance of male and female, and you know, our experience is our experience, and we deal with our own experience and our own story. But there's always another layer, there's always another layer, a deeper layer, a bigger picture of what is actually playing out in the universe. What roles are we all playing in healing this planet, in healing ourselves, in healing each other? And I really hope that that has helped you, and especially if you've had an experience of termination, to know that your babies are absolutely fine, that you have not destroyed anything. And if anything is terminated, it's, you know, it might feel like you've terminated a part of your soul, but you know, we want to, when we release all of that stuff that we believe about our self-worth, we're not worthy, you know, we rise into our stories, and we change the energy around that, and we, you know, we step more fully into who we are, into our power. And you know, I see a lot of women who are, you know, struggling to conceive, and then, you know, at some point in time they feel able to, you know, to tell me, oh well, I had a termination when I was younger. And you just think, you know, then we explore that, and you know, the beliefs that come from that trauma, because shame is not a real thing, it's a made up thing. As they said, it's other people's beliefs and fear of judgment. But it's so intense, the beliefs we make in that trauma of I don't deserve, I'm not worthy, can really hold back your beautiful baby, future baby spirits coming into the world. So, you know, it's time to start speaking about this experience. It's time to start acknowledging that it happens, and it happens a lot. And, you know, for all of these unseen babies, you know, they do not want you to feel the shame and hurt. You know, a lot of them, on many occasions, they've said they've come in exactly, well, this is what Rosa came in for. She said she came in to wake me up. She came in to, you know, I can't remember her words, but it was like she wasn't whole. Her body, the physical body of her, was not whole. But you know, by her not being whole made me whole. That was her words. So she came in to like wake me up, and it started my whole spiritual journey. That whole curiosity: why me? Why is this happening? What is this all about? And you know, you start going on your inner journey, and life changes, and you know, we get a very different perspective. And it's love, and I really hope that message came with love. So I was going to do a little meditation on shame very quickly, if you want to stay, and I absolutely do not want you to go into a story of shame, because as we know, shame is trauma, and you know, this is not about going deep into any traumas right now. It's just looking, you know, if you're ready to start exploring any trauma, any shame you feel around a certain experience, then please do get in touch, you know, and we'll look at what we can do. But just for now, just to go into the energy, and you know, and obviously reach out if you need me. But just for now, we're just going to just gently look at the energy of shame that you're holding, where you're holding it, and just see if we can lighten that a little bit. So just keep in mind, you're not going back into your trauma. You're not going back into the situation that you feel started the shame. But just know that feeling of shame did not come from that situation. It was triggered. It was already there from eons ago, you know, potentially. So we're just going to gently look at that feeling of where you might be holding on to any shame. So if you want to just take a nice deep breath in, and just breathing in and breathing your eyes closed. And breathing out, acknowledging what you've heard in that message, acknowledging how you're feeling, just without wanting to change anything. Everything is fine. All is well. And again, lovely deep breath in, breathing all your energy back to you from across time, space, people and events. And breathing out, just knowing that you've been heard, you've been seen, you're held in love. And again, breathing in, deep breath in, and this time when you breathe out, letting out a really big sigh. So sighing just gets us out of our heads, out of that stress of our heads, and into our hearts. And just imagine being in this vortex of energy, the center of your chest, this beautiful place of truth. And imagine that you're looking out at the world from your heart. So not from your head, your eyes, but looking out at the world from your heart. And making the command in your mind of 0 point. And again, from this place in your heart, making the command in your mind of 0 point ground. And again, making the command in your heart of 0 point source. So you may feel both grounded but also lighter as you're connecting into the purest forms of energy from above and below. With you connected to yourself and the bridge between the two, part of the universe. Okay, so just very gently, without going into the situation, just notice in your body where you're feeling any sense of shame. And just making this energy conscious by just asking, if it had a colour, what colour would it be? If it looked like anything, what would it look like if it had a shape or a form? Don't try, just allow any images to come up, any colours. If you can't see anything, it's absolutely fine. Just notice the feeling. And then ask, does all of this energy of shame, does it all belong to you? Does any of it belong to anyone else? Are you carrying it from culture, from family? And all of that shame that doesn't belong to you, I want you to imagine this beautiful bubble out in front of you. Take a deep breath in and just smile and give yourself permission to let this go. It's not yours to hang on to. It's for anyone else to deal with love, going into that divine bubble out in front of you. Enough to deal with of our own. We don't need to be hanging on to anyone else's judgments. Just allow the energy to move. And when you feel it's all in that bubble, sending that bubble up, 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 up. All the way up. Up and up and up, higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, all the way up. Beyond the sun. Just seeing that bubble pop. All of that energy just disappearing. It's all been transmuted into all things good. Coming back into what's left, what's yours, what are you holding on to? And just asking, if you weren't feeling this sense of shame, what would you be feeling instead? What emotion would you be feeling? If you could be free of this energy, free of this sense of shame, how would you be feeling instead? And what colour is this emotion? And just bringing that colour and that emotion into that space. Mixing and merging with that original colour, that original energy. Just focusing your attention, just bringing that energy, acknowledging that it's been there, it's been held there, shining the light on it, bringing in that beautiful colour to lift and lighten and transform. Just feel that energy melting away until all you can see is that new colour. All you can see and feel is that new emotion. And just whilst you're doing that, I'm just going to ask and say yes in your head because I need permission. I'm just going to ask for any trauma that's been held in your body to be released with grace and ease at a time and level appropriate for you, from your body, from your energy bodies, and across all time, dimension, space and reality. The highest and best good. And just feel that energy coming in, feel that healing. You may well feel it like a wave coming through your body. That's how I'm experiencing it. No, it's just kind of jiggling up the cells in your body a little bit to help you release some of that energy of trauma. Very gently, only at a level appropriate for you. You're not thinking about any situation, you're going into that, you're just experiencing the energy, not the thought. Now bring in a new, okay, so I don't know if someone was finding it hard to kind of step forward, issues with their legs, because I can really feel it in my legs, like it's almost like now you feel able to not just walk but run forward, run towards, not from. Okay. So this, if you were choosing to feel, if you didn't have this trauma and you chose to feel something different, you've got your emotion, you've got your colour. It's those words, I am worthy, I am free, I am deserving, whatever it might be. I am happy, I am confident, whatever they are. If these words had an image, if they had a form, what would it look like? I just want you to see that image or form being emerging from that space where you're holding on to the shame. Just seeing this new picture, this new energy. This new light, which has and always will be the light of you. Just notice that feeling just moving throughout your body, filling up your cells, expanding and expanding and expanding, moving out of your physical body into the space around you, sharing this new thought about yourself, this new emotion, out, 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 all the way out, sharing this out with the universe, and the universe celebrating and feeling so much joy and honor at your courage and your journey, and you magnetizing this joy and this courage and this knowing, this deep, deep knowing, all the way back 100,000 times more powerful into your body, into your heart, and just feeling the universe moving through you, feeling held and supported. And just taking a nice deep breath in, feeling yourself coming back into the place that you're in now, the room you're in, feeling your feet firmly on the floor, fully grounded, this new energy flowing within you, that healing. And when you're ready, having a big stretch and coming back, opening your eyes. Okay, so a lovely sense of much more peaceful, calm. And thank you for anyone joining me. If you want to go back to the beginning, there was a message from Rosa, my spirit baby and mentor, from a soul perspective on termination, and what that really means from a soul perspective, what it means for your baby, what it means mostly for you. And then just a little bit of healing, very brief, little bit of energy healing around any sense of, that shame that keeps us small, that keeps us from owning who we are, being who we are. So, all my love, and yes, holding you all in love. That's all I can say, and huge gratitude to you all for your courage and beauty and your energy out into this world. And thank you to Rosa for being with us today and that beautiful healing. So much love to you all. Any sense of resistance, any sense of feeling unsettled right now, please let me know, and we'll look at that now. Or if you're ready to look at any traumas, change how you're feeling about something on a deeper level, then please do get in touch. I'm here for you. Okay, so thank you all so much for watching me live. I'm going to go and have a cup of tea because it's freaking freezing out here. You can see, I don't know whether the camera was shaking. Slight nerves as well as being quite cold. So, alright, my gorgeous people, lovely women, I love you so much, and take care, lots of love, bye.